let's start the game. So I'm going to click here on a new game. One of the things that you'll notice here, down at the bottom here, so we now have benchmarking in the game, which will tell you how well the computer will work with the configuration that you've set up. Because so much stuff inside the game is up to the user to decide, such as the amount of leagues that you have running at any one time. Whilst this is starting up, another thing that we've spent a lot of time doing this year is optimizing the game. And we ran some speed tests just before we mastered. And running a speed test that was the English League, the Scottish League, the Spanish League, the Italian League, with Football Manager 2009 and Football Manager 2010, and just putting the game on holiday so that it just runs through normally, it's 45% faster than this time last year. Our target was 20% faster, so we're quite happy with that as a speed increase. So I'm going to set up here. I've just set up a game for England, English Premier League and Championship. So you'll notice here, I mean, I presume most of you in the room will have seen a Football Manager game at some point. There's no tree menu, which used to be on the left-hand side. Effectively, with our previous games, there were 3 different ways to navigate. You had the tree menu, you had the breadcrumbs, or you had the main options here. We got rid of the tree menu because it wasn't needed, and the game is now a lot easier to navigate round. Here we have your manager homepage. The bottom 3 panels are completely configurable, so you can set that up any way that you want to. Board confidence, squad status, pending transfers, some job information, contract expiries, and hopefully there's enough choice there for the user. You've also got your inbox here, and it says I've got 8 unread, so let's go straight there. You get player histories, transfer updates. Now, you also have a chance to meet your staff, and this is something that's new for Football Manager 2010. We've tried to make the game a lot easier for people who've never played the game before to play. One of the ways of doing that is by having more feedback from your staff. Last year we had assistant manager feedback, which went down pretty well, but only got so much information back to the user. It's now a lot easier to go through. So if I click on Meet Your Staff, you can see here they're giving you a lot of information. I'm going to take his advice, and just by pressing that one button, my scouts will now go and have a look at that player. Good first touch. It also tells you who have the best touch and the worst touch, Stoke City having the worst touch in the league. Here we have a high flair rating. A very short squad, though, which means I might get a game for Arsenal, which is a good thing to know. Our squad has some of the best passes in the league, good fitness. So it basically gives you all the kind of information that you need to know of what kind of players that you should be looking for. Here will be advise you players to take penalties for you, advise players to take corners, free kicks, a target man, playmaker. It will suggest formations for you as well, and again, you can just easily choose to select one of these formations, but I'm going to dismiss that so I can show you the tactic creator. So we look towards youth players because we've got a good standard of facilities, and you'll also notice here that your assistant manager might disagree with the advice or agree with the advice. So you're getting feedback from more than one person with everything that you do. Let's go back to the news item. You get a team report there. You also get told about new subscriptions. This is something else that's new to Football Manager 2010. One of the things that we've realised over the last couple of years is that basically you can't please all people all of the time. So when we're sitting there doing usability studies, we've got some people telling us that they have too much information in the game, too much news. I don't care what's going on in the league around me, I just want to manage my team. You've got other people going, I want to know about everything that's going on in the football world, and obviously lots in between as well. By having new subscriptions, it's up to the user to choose how much information they get on their news screen. So, as Arsenal, I'm automatically subscribed to the European Super Cup, English FA Cup, European Cup, Premier League, Champions Cup, European Championships, the World Cup and England. But let's say I wanted to find out information about the team that I support, which is Watford. I can just go to Watford's team, click on the star. I'm now subscribed to news about Watford. You can do this not just for individual clubs. If I go to the Championship, click on the star, I'm subscribed to news about it. I don't know why they're getting excited. I can do the same with any player, any staff member, literally any what we class as an object inside the game. You can get a subscription to that news, and that will appear on the news page. Here I've been advised to have an intra-squad friendly so that I can have a look at the current playing staff. I'm actually going to reject that, although I would normally accept it. And then you get start of season expectations, and I agree with those. So let's go and have a look at searching for a player. If I go and have a look at the filters here, you'll notice, for those of you who are regular players of the game, that you've got a lot more filters now inside the game to really narrow down the kind of player that you're wanting to look at. We also have brought back a very popular feature from some of our previous games, which is the attributes to match filter. This means that I could set up maybe 20 different filters to narrow down the search, but turn around and say, I'm happy if it matches 18 out of 20 of those filters. Because if you can't find the perfect player, but you can find someone who's similar to the kind of player that you want to, then that makes it a lot easier. So let's look for someone here who's got great finishing. Press conferences was something that we added to the game in Football Manager 2009. In England, we have something that you put on toast called Marmite, which is, I don't know whether you have Marmite over here, but Marmite is kind of a beef paste. And their advertising campaign in England is very much geared towards the fact that you either love or hate Marmite. There's no middle ground. Press conferences inside the game are a little bit repetitive. We've got over 500 questions now this year inside the press conferences, and all of the answers are actually tailored to the position that you're in. So we have a lot more answers than questions. They're definitely improved. But as any of you guys know who go to press conferences regularly, when you don't have one-on-one interviews, but people are asking questions, the same questions do get asked in most press conferences. Approach of tactics, I play an attractive passing game. Now, every answer that you give here will have an effect on your team, on their morale, on the kinds of players who will want to join you, and on the way that the press perceive you. Otherwise, they might decide to storm out of the press conference, which I'm going to do now. And then you end up with a nasty news item saying that he's lost his cool. He's caused a stir by storming out at a press conference and seemed to take offence to a line of questioning from The People, which is a tabloid paper in the UK.